The sound of a child's laughter cut through the quiet morning air, drawing Zara Hale's attention away from her phone. Seated on a pristine bench in Roosevelt Park, she watched as a little girl with bouncing copper pigtails darted across the playground, pure joy etched across her freckled face. A strange yearning stirred in Zara's chest, something she rarely permitted herself to feel anymore. It wasn't envy exactly. What did she have to envy with her net worth exceeding $11 billion? But something closer to nostalgia for a childhood she'd never had. The little girl stumbled, and Zara instinctively rose halfway from her bench. But before she could move, a man rushed forward, scooping the child up with practiced ease. He was tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a faded flannel shirt with sleeves rolled up to reveal tanned forearms. The way he checked his daughter's knees with gentle care made something twist in Zara's chest. "You're okay, Lily," he said, his voice carrying across the playground. "Just a little tumble." "I was running too fast, Daddy," the girl Lily responded with a serious nod that seemed beyond her years. Zara sank back onto the bench, absent-mindedly closing the financial reports on her phone. She couldn't remember the last time she'd come to a public park on a Tuesday morning. Actually, she couldn't remember the last time she'd been to a park at all. But after 3 consecutive weeks of 18-hour workdays finalizing her company's newest acquisition, her executive assistant had practically forced her to take a morning off. "Go breathe real air," Charlotte had insisted, blocking the door to Zara's office. "The company won't collapse if you're gone for 4 hours." So here she was, breathing real air and watching a little girl who couldn't be more than 5 resume her conquest of the playground, her moment of distress already forgotten. The father returned to a bench opposite Zara's, where he pulled out what looked like paperwork from a weathered messenger bag. Even from this distance, Zara could see the tension in his shoulders as he frowned at whatever he was reading. Lily made quick work of the slide, the monkey bars, and the swings before deciding that Zara's bench offered a new frontier. She bounded over, her little sneakers pink with scuffed toes skidding to a halt in front of Zara. "Hi," Lily announced, with all the confidence of someone who had yet to learn that strangers might not always welcome conversation. "Your shoes are pretty." Zara glanced down at her Louboutins, a custom design that cost more than what most people made in a month. "Thank you," she replied, surprised at how rusty her voice sounded when speaking to a child. "I like yours too. They light up when I jump," Lily demonstrated with an enthusiastic hop, and indeed small red lights flashed at the heels of her sneakers. "My daddy got them for my birthday." "I'm 5 now." She held up her entire hand, fingers splayed. "That's a very important age," Zara said seriously. "Lily." The father was approaching quickly, concern etched across his face. "I'm so sorry," he said to Zara. "She's still learning about personal space." Up close, Zara noticed his eyes, first a deep green flecked with amber, then the stubble along his strong jaw, the lines at the corners of his eyes suggesting he smiled often, despite the worry that currently creased his brow. "It's fine," Zara assured him. "We were just discussing the merits of light-up sneakers versus," she gestured at her impractical footwear, "these." His gaze flickered briefly to her shoes, and something crossed his face, not judgment, but a fleeting acknowledgement of their obvious costliness. He extended his hand. "I'm Quinn." "Quinn Donovan, and you've already met Hurricane Lily." "Zara." She took his hand, noting the calluses against her own smooth palm. "Zara Hale." "I'm not a hurricane, Daddy," Lily protested, climbing onto the bench beside Zara. "I'm a girl," Quinn sighed. "Sorry again, we can leave you in peace." "No, really, it's okay." The words came out before Zara could consider them. "I don't mind the company." Over the next 30 minutes, Lily regaled Zara with stories about her kindergarten class, her collection of rocks, and a detailed explanation of why purple was superior to all other colors. Quinn occasionally tried to redirect his daughter, but Zara found herself genuinely enjoying the child's chatter. "I should let you go," Quinn eventually said, checking his watch with a frown. "Lily, we need to get you to Aunt Meg's so I can get to work." "What do you do?" Zara asked, surprising herself with her interest. "Construction during the day," he answered, rubbing the back of his neck. "And I'm trying to get a small woodworking business off the ground, custom furniture." His expression turned slightly embarrassed. Still very much in the trying phase, though. Daddy makes the prettiest tables, Lily announced proudly. And a princess bed for me. That sounds impressive, Zara said, finding she meant it. Quinn shrugged. It keeps me busy. What about you? Do you work around here? His eyes flickered again to her designer outfit, obviously trying to place her. Zara hesitated. Experience had taught her that revealing her identity often changed everything. People either wanted something from her or treated her differently with excessive deference or thinly veiled resentment. I'm in business, she said vaguely. Finance mostly, Quinn nodded, seeming to accept the nebulous answer. Well, it was nice meeting you, Zara. Maybe we'll see you around the park again sometime. Maybe, she agreed, surprised to find herself hoping it was true. As they walked away, Lily turning to wave enthusiastically, Zara felt strangely lighter than she had in months. She picked up her phone, intent on checking the 67 unread emails that had accumulated during her brief respite, but found herself hesitating. Instead, she put the phone away and simply sat, watching the dappled sunlight through the trees for a few minutes longer before heading back to her waiting car. The next day, Zara found herself returning to the park, telling herself it was simply because she'd enjoyed the break from her routine. The morning was cooler than the previous day, and she dressed down slightly in tailored pants and a cashmere sweater. Still unmistakably expensive, but less obviously so than yesterday's attire. She felt a strange disappointment when she didn't immediately spot Lily or Quinn. Perhaps they only came on Tuesdays. She was about to leave when a familiar laugh made her turn toward the playground. There was Lily, racing up the steps to the slide, her copper hair flying behind her. And there was Quinn, seated on the same bench as yesterday, his focus on a sketchbook in his lap. Zara approached slowly, suddenly uncertain. Yesterday had been a chance encounter, today would be deliberate. Before she could second-guess herself further, Lily spotted her. Zara, the little girl called, abandoning the slide and running over. You came back. Do you want to see me go down the twisty slide? I was too scared yesterday, but I'm brave today. Quinn looked up, surprise evident in his expression before a warm smile spread across his face. Morning, he called. Good morning, Zara replied, feeling strangely shy. I hope you don't mind, not at all, Quinn assured her, closing his sketchbook. It's a public park. Zara found herself drawn to the bench beside him as Lily dashed back to the playground to demonstrate her newfound courage on the spiral slide. So, Quinn said, back for more 5-year-old wisdom. It was surprisingly refreshing, Zara admitted. Most of my conversations revolve around profit margins and market projections. Quinn raised an eyebrow. Sounds thrilling. About as thrilling as watching paint dry, Zara said dryly, then nodded at his sketchbook. What are you working on? He hesitated before opening the book. Just some design ideas. I've been commissioned to make a dining table and I'm trying to nail down the details. Zara leaned closer, genuinely impressed by the detailed drawings. The table had clean, elegant lines but featured intricate inlay work along the edges. This is beautiful, she said. You designed this. Yeah. Quinn ran a hand through his dark hair, a hint of color rising in his cheeks. It's for a restaurant owner downtown. Small job, but could lead to more if he likes it. He'd be a fool not to, Zara said honestly. You have real talent. For the next hour, they talked as Lily played. Quinn told her about growing up with a carpenter father who taught him the trade, about his dreams for expanding his business beyond one-off commissions, and about losing his wife to cancer when Lily was just a year old. It was rough, he admitted quietly, watching his daughter chase another child around the playground. But Lily gives me purpose, you know. Everything I do is for her. She's lucky to have you, Zara said, thinking of her own father always distant, always working, even before her mother had left them. What about you? Quinn asked. No kids running you ragged. No, Zara replied. No husband, no kids, just work. She hadn't planned to say more, but something about Quinn's open expression made her continue. My father was very focused on achievement. After my mother left when I was 8, it was just the two of us, and he made it clear that success was the only option. I suppose I inherited his drive. Quinn studied her for a moment. But are you happy? He asked simply. The question caught her off guard. When was the last time anyone had asked her that? When was the last time she'd even considered it herself? Before she could formulate a response, Lily came barreling over, saving her from answering. "Daddy, I'm hungry." "There's our cue," Quinn said with a laugh, reaching for his bag. He pulled out a small cooler and extracted a sandwich, an apple, and a juice box. "Would you like to join us?" He asked Zara. "It's nothing fancy, just PB&J, but Lily always insists I make extra in case she meets a hungry friend." Zara looked at the simple offering, then at Lily's hopeful face and Quinn's kind eyes. "I'd love to," she said, realizing she meant it. Over the next 2 weeks, Zara restructured her mornings to include visits to the park. She told herself it was just a pleasant diversion, but the truth was that she looked forward to seeing Quinn and Lily with an intensity that both confused and exhilarated her. She learned that Quinn worked for a construction company from noon until 8, then spent evenings in a small workshop he'd set up in his garage. He'd moved to a modest house in a working-class neighborhood after his wife died, wanting to be closer to his sister Meg, who helped with childcare. "The mortgage is manageable," he explained one morning, "but starting a business while being a single dad is challenging." "What's the biggest obstacle?" Zara asked, genuinely curious. "Capital," Quinn admitted. "Quality materials are expensive, and I need better equipment to take on larger projects. But loans are hard to come by for a business that's still more dream than reality." Zara bit her tongue to keep from offering solutions. She could solve his financial problems with a phone call, less than that. A text, but she knew that wasn't what he needed from her. Besides, she wasn't ready to reveal who she truly was. For the first time in years, someone was seeing her just Zara, not Zara Hale, CEO of Hale Innovations and one of the wealthiest women in America. On Friday of the second week, Quinn surprised her. "Lily and I usually have pizza and movie night on Fridays," he said as they walked together toward the park exit, Lily skipping ahead. "Nothing elaborate, just delivery and whatever animated film she's currently obsessed with. But, would you like to join us?" Zara felt an unexpected flutter in her chest. "I wouldn't want to intrude on your tradition." "You wouldn't be," he assured her quickly. "Lily actually asked if you could come. She's gotten pretty attached to you." "Just Lily?" Zara asked before she could stop herself. Quinn's eyes held hers. "No," he said softly. "Not just Lily." That evening, Zara found herself standing outside a modest bungalow, feeling more nervous than she had before addressing the UN General Assembly last year. She'd changed 3 times before settling on jeans, a simple blouse and ballet flats, probably the most casual outfit she'd worn in public since college. The door flew open before she could knock, revealing Lily in unicorn pajamas. "You came," she exclaimed, grabbing Zara's hand and pulling her inside. "Daddy, Zara's here." Quinn appeared from what must be the kitchen, wiping his hands on a dish towel. He'd changed from his work clothes into a soft-looking Henleyan jeans, and his hair was slightly damp, as if he'd just showered. "Hey," he said, his smile warm. "Glad you could make it." The house was small but immaculate, with comfortable, well-worn furniture and walls covered in Lily's artwork and family photos. It felt like a home in a way Zara's penthouse never had, despite its multi-million-dollar price tag and professional decorator. "We're having pepperoni and cheese," Lily informed her importantly. "And Daddy said I could stay up until 9 because it's Friday and no school tomorrow." "Sounds perfect," Zara said, following them into the living room where a stack of DVDs waited beside the TV. The evening was unlike anything in Zara's normal routine. They ate pizza from paper plates, watched a movie about singing trolls that Lily knew by heart, and listened to the little girls running commentary on every character and plot point. When Lily finally fell asleep against Zara's side halfway through the second movie, the weight of her small body trusting and warm, Zara felt something inside her shift and realign. "I should get her to bed," Quinn whispered, carefully lifting his daughter. "Be right back." While he was gone, Zara took the opportunity to look around more carefully. The bookshelf contained a mix of children's books, carpentry manuals, and well-thumbed paperback mysteries. On a side table sat several framed photos, including one of a much younger Quinn with a pretty woman who must be Lily's mother. They were laughing, her head thrown back while he looked at her with obvious adoration. "That's Michelle," Quinn said quietly from behind her. "Lily has her laugh." Zara turned. "She was beautiful. I'm so sorry you lost her." "Thank you." Quinn moved to the couch, gesturing for Zara to join him. "It was the hardest thing I've ever faced, but somehow we made it through. Lily doesn't remember her, of course, which breaks my heart sometimes." "But she has you," Zara said, "and you keep Michelle's memory alive for her." Quinn studied her face. "You're different than I expected," he said finally. "What do you mean? The first day, with your power suit and those shoes that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage." He shrugged. "I thought you were just another corporate type taking a quick break before heading back to your corner office. But you're more than that." Guilt twisted in Zara's stomach. "Quinn, there's something I should tell you. You don't have to explain anything," he interrupted. "We all have our stories. I just want you to know that Lily and we've really enjoyed getting to know you these past couple weeks." Zara swallowed hard. "I've enjoyed it too, more than I can say." They talked for hours after that, moving from childhood memories to favorite books to dreams for the future. It was the most honest conversation Zara had had in years, even with the significant omission of her true identity. When she finally glanced at her watch, she was shocked to see it was after midnight. "I should go," she said reluctantly. "It's late." Quinn walked her to the door. "Will we see you at the park tomorrow? Lily likes to go Saturday mornings too if the weather's good." "I'd like that," Zara said. She hesitated, then added, "Thank you for tonight, for including me." "Thank you for coming," he replied, his voice low. For a moment she thought he might lean in, might kiss her, and she was surprised by how much she wanted him to. Instead, he reached out and squeezed her hand gently. "Good night, Zara." "Good night," she whispered, reluctantly pulling away and heading to where her driver waited discreetly down the block. Saturday morning dawned clear and warm. Zara arrived at the park earlier than usual, having barely slept thinking about the previous evening. She was just settling onto their usual bench when her phone rang. Charlotte, her assistant. "I'm sorry to bother you on the weekend," Charlotte began, but Thomas Reed's assistant just called. "He wants to move up the meeting about the Atlantic merger to Monday morning, and he's insisting you be there in person." Zara frowned. "The meeting wasn't scheduled until Wednesday. I was planning to fly out Tuesday night." "I know, but he's being inflexible." His exact words were, "If Zara Hale wants this deal as badly as she claims, she'll make it happen." Zara sighed. Reed was notoriously difficult but essential to closing the merger, a deal that would expand Hale Innovations into European markets and potentially create thousands of new jobs. "Book the flight for tomorrow afternoon," she decided. "I'll be in the office in an hour to prepare." She hung up just as Quinn and Lily approached, both smiling brightly at the sight of her. Lily immediately launched into a story about a dream involving talking rabbits, while Quinn settled beside Zara, his presence warm and solid. "Morning," he said, his smile doing strange things to her heart. "You're here early." "I had some things on my mind," Zara admitted. "Good things, I hope." There was a question in his eyes that made her breath catch. Before she could answer, her phone rang again. Zara glanced at the screen. Her father. He rarely called on weekends unless it was important. "I'm sorry, I need to take this," she said, stepping away from the bench. "I'll be right back." Her father's voice was terse when she answered. "Zara, have you seen the Wall Street Journal this morning?" "No, why?" "There's an article suggesting Hale Innovations is overextended with this Atlantic merger. Stock's already down 3 points in pre-market trading. Reed's probably moving up the meeting to gauge your reaction." "I'll handle Reed," Zara said firmly. "And I'll call Nathan about preparing a statement to calm the markets before they open Monday." "Good, I'll be monitoring from Tokyo." Her father paused. "This merger is crucial, Zara. Don't let anything distract you." "I won't," she promised automatically. When she returned to the bench, Quinn was watching her with concern. "Everything okay? Just work," she said, trying to sound casual. "Actually, I need to head into the office. Something unexpected came up." "Oh." His face fell slightly. "Rain check on playground duty then?" "Actually," Zara hesitated, knowing she should just say goodbye cleanly. "I'm going to be out of town for a few days. Business trip." "I see." Quinn studied her face. "Will we see you when you get back?" The hope in his expression made her heart twist. "I'd like that," she said softly. "Zara, you're leaving?" Lily had returned from the swings, her lower lip trembling. "But you just got here." Zara knelt down to the little girl's level. "I have to go to work, sweetie, but I'll be back. Promise." Lily asked, her eyes serious. "I promise," Zara said, meaning it more than she'd expected to. As she walked away, she heard Lily ask, "Daddy, why does Zara have to work on Saturday?" "Some people have very important jobs, Lilipad," Quinn answered, his voice carrying in the morning air. He had no idea just how true that statement was. The Atlantic merger negotiations were brutal. Thomas Reed drove a hard bargain, and by Wednesday evening, Zara was exhausted but triumphant. The deal was signed, the press conference went smoothly, and Hale Innovations stock had rebounded handsomely. "You should stay and celebrate," her father said over the phone. "The Tokyo team is impressed with how you handled Reed." "Thanks, but I'm catching the red-eye back tonight," Zara replied, already packing her briefcase. "There are things I need to attend to at home." Things like a certain green-eyed carpenter and his daughter, who hadn't left her thoughts once during the endless meetings and strategy sessions. She landed early Thursday morning and went straight to her penthouse to shower and change. By 9 o'clock, she was at the park, scanning the playground anxiously for a glimpse of copper pigtails. They weren't there. Zara sat on their usual bench for an hour, checking her watch repeatedly. Perhaps Quinn had taken the day off work, or Lily was sick. She tried not to feel disappointed as she finally left, heading to her office where Charlotte had scheduled back-to-back meetings all afternoon. Friday morning, she tried again, this time bringing coffee and a paper bag of pastries from the artisanal bakery near her building. Still no sign of them. Zara found herself wondering if she had their phone number, then realized with a pang that despite all their conversations, they'd never exchanged contact information. By Saturday, she was genuinely worried. Had something happened? Were they okay? She decided to try once more, arriving at the park at their usual weekend time. Relief flooded through her when she spotted Lily on the monkey bars, Quinn standing nearby with his hands ready to catch her if she slipped. Zara approached slowly, suddenly unsure of her welcome. Quinn noticed her first, his expression unreadable. "You're back," he said, his tone carefully neutral. "I got in Thursday," Zara replied. "I came to the park, but you weren't here." "Lily had a cold," he explained. "We stayed home." Zara. Lily had spotted her and came running over, flinging her arms around Zara's waist. "You came back. Did you bring me anything?" "Lily," Quinn admonished. "That's not polite." "It's okay," Zara said, holding up the bag from the bakery. "As a matter of fact, I did bring something." "Chocolate croissants, if you're interested." Lily's eyes widened. "My favorite. Daddy, can I have one, please?" Quinn's reserve cracked slightly as he smiled at his daughter's enthusiasm. "One, and say thank you to Zara." "Thank you," Lily chirped, already reaching for the bag. As Lily settled on a nearby bench to enjoy her treat, Quinn turned to Zara. "You didn't have to do that," he said quietly. "I wanted to," she replied. "Quinn, I'm sorry I disappeared like that. The business trip was unexpected," he nodded slowly. "I understand, we all have responsibilities." He hesitated. "It's just, Lily got pretty attached to you. When you weren't here Thursday or Friday, she was upset." "Just Lily?" Zara asked, echoing their earlier conversation. This time, Quinn's eyes softened. "No, not just Lily." He took a deep breath. "Look, Zara, I like you a lot. But I need to be careful for Lily's sake. I can't have people coming in and out of her life unpredictably." "I understand that," Zara said earnestly. "And I want you to know that I care about both of you. These past few weeks have meant more to me than I can explain." Quinn studied her face. "There's something you're not telling me," he said finally. "I can feel it." Zara swallowed hard. "You're right. There's something I should have told you from the beginning." She glanced at Lily, who was happily munching her croissant and watching a squirrel dart across the lawn. "Can we talk?" "Properly, I mean. Tonight, maybe?" Quinn considered her request, then nodded. "Lily's going to a sleepover at her cousin's house tonight. Why don't you come over around 7? "I'll be there," Zara promised. That evening, Zara stood once again on Quinn's doorstep, her heart pounding. This time, she'd driven herself in her least ostentatious car, a modest Audi rather than the Bentley or Aston Martin. Quinn opened the door, dressed similarly to last Friday in jeans and a Henley, but his expression was more guarded this time. "Come in," he said, stepping back to let her pass. In the living room, 2 glasses of wine waited on the coffee table. Quinn gestured for her to sit and handed her one. "So," he said, settling across from her, "what is it you need to tell me?" Zara took a deep breath. "My name is Zara Hale," she began, watching his face carefully. "I know that," Quinn said, looking confused. "Yes, but do you know who Zara Hale is?" Understanding slowly dawned in his eyes. "Should I?" "I'm the CEO of Hale Innovations," she explained. "It's a technology and finance conglomerate my father founded. We're headquartered downtown." Quinn's brow furrowed. "Okay. Quinn, I'm wealthy, very wealthy. How wealthy are we talking?" he asked cautiously. Zara looked him directly in the eyes. "Billionaire wealthy." She watched as the information registered, his expression cycling through shock, disbelief, and something close to hurt. "You're serious?" "Yes. And you didn't think this was worth mentioning during all our conversations." Zara set her wine glass down. "I was going to tell you several times. But I've learned that once people know who I am, what I am, everything changes. They either want something from me, or they treat me differently. For the first time in years, someone was seeing just me, not my bank account or my company." Quinn stood up, running a hand through his hair. "So what, this was all some kind of experiment for you, slumming it with the regular folk at the park?" "No." Zara rose as well, distressed by his interpretation. "That's not it at all. Meeting you and Lily was the most real thing that's happened to me in years. I was afraid to break the spell." "A spell," Quinn repeated flatly. "That's what this was to you." "I'm explaining this badly," Zara said, frustrated. "Quinn, I'm still the same person you've been talking to every day. The person who loves hearing Lily's stories and who thinks your furniture designs are brilliant. My financial situation doesn't change who I am." "Except it does, Zara. It changes everything." Quinn paced to the window and back. "Do you have any idea what it's like to struggle? To worry about making rent or whether you can afford to put your kid in soccer because the uniform costs too much. To work 2 jobs just to keep food on the table." "No," she admitted quietly, "I don't." "Then how could we ever really understand each other? We live in completely different worlds." "But we don't have to," Zara insisted, stepping closer to him. "These past weeks, we've been in the same world, and it felt right, didn't it?" Quinn's expression softened slightly. "Yes," he admitted, "it did." "Then why can't we continue that?" "Because it's not real, Zara. You've been playing a role." His words stung. "That's not fair. I never lied about who I am, just what I do and how much money I have." "Which are pretty significant details," Quinn pointed out. "Would you have treated me the same if you'd known?" Zara challenged. "Would you have invited the Billionaire CEO to pizza night with you and Lily?" Quinn was silent for a long moment. "I don't know," he finally admitted. "Probably not." "That's why I didn't tell you," Zara said softly. "I wanted a chance for you to know me, the real me, before my net worth became part of the equation." Quinn sank back onto the couch, running both hands down his face. "This is a lot to process." "I know." Zara sat beside him, leaving a careful distance between them. "And I understand if you need time, or if you decide that the differences in our lives are too great to overcome." "It's not about the money itself," Quinn said after a moment. "It's about what it represents, the gulf between our experiences, our daily realities." He turned to look at her. "What happens when Lily and I don't fit into your world of private jets and charity galas?" "Who says you wouldn't fit?" Zara countered. "Besides, maybe I'm tired of that world. Maybe what I've been missing is exactly what you and Lily have: authenticity, warmth, a life that's about more than the next acquisition." Quinn studied her face. "You really mean that?" "I do." Zara hesitated, then reached for his hand. "These past few weeks spending time with you and Lily, I've been happier than I can remember being in years, maybe ever. That means something, doesn't it?" "It does," Quinn agreed, his fingers tightening around hers. "But this is still complicated." "Most worthwhile things are," Zara pointed out with a small smile. Quinn's expression softened. "True." He sighed. "Look, I can't promise anything right now. This is a lot to take in, but I do know that I care about you, the you I've gotten to know these past weeks, and Lily adores you." "That's enough for me," Zara said honestly. "I just want a chance to see where this might go. The real me, the real you, no more secrets." Quinn nodded slowly. No more secrets, he agreed, then a slight smile tugged at his lips. Though I have to say, finding out the woman I've been sharing PB&J sandwiches with could buy the entire park is a bit surreal. Zara laughed, relief flooding through her at the break in tension. If it helps, they were excellent sandwiches. Over the next month, they navigated their new understanding carefully. Zara continued to meet them at the park when her schedule allowed, and gradually began to share more of her world with Quinn and Lily. She invited them to her penthouse for dinner, watching with amusement as Lily explored the space with wide-eyed wonder, and Quinn tried not to look overwhelmed by the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. In turn, Quinn brought her deeper into their live Sunday dinners with his sister Meg and her family, Lily's kindergarten art show, even a day spent in his small workshop where he patiently taught her the basics of woodworking. "You're a natural," he told her as she sanded the edges of a small jewelry box they were making together. "Good attention to detail. Must be all those financial reports I read," she joked, but his praise warmed her more than any corporate accolade ever had. One evening in June, 2 months after their first meeting at the park, Zara invited Quinn to her office after hours. She'd been working on something special and was finally ready to show him. "This is quite the setup," Quinn commented as she led him through the executive floor of Hale Tower. "Though I expected more minions running around. They only come out at night after the executives leave," Zara deadpanned, unlocking her office door. "I wanted to show you something." Inside, she directed him to a sleek conference table where several folders were arranged neatly. "What's all this?" he asked. "I've been doing some research," Zara explained, opening the first folder. "Did you know there's a significant market gap in high-end handcrafted furniture for corporate spaces? Most companies either go with mass-produced pieces or commission work from established designers with huge markups." Quinn raised an eyebrow. "Is that so?" "It is." Zara opened another folder containing market analysis reports. "I've had our research team look into it. There's tremendous potential for someone with your skills and aesthetic to break into this market. Sustainable materials, expert craftsmanship, unique designs, it's exactly what many progressive companies are looking for right now." Quinn leafed through the reports, his expression growing more serious as he absorbed the information. "This is thorough. There's more," Zara said, opening the final folder. "This is a business plan. It includes projections, marketing strategies, initial capital requirements, everything you'd need to scale your workshop into a viable business." Quinn looked up sharply. "You did all this for me." "I did it because I believe in you," Zara said simply. "Your talent is extraordinary, Quinn. You just need the right opportunity to showcase it." "And what about funding?" he asked, a hint of wariness entering his voice. "Are you offering to bankroll this?" "I'm offering options," Zara clarified. "Yes, I could invest personally. Or Hale Innovations could commission a full office suite as your first major client, which would give you the capital to expand. Or I could introduce you to several ethical investors who would consider backing you while allowing you to maintain creative and operational control." Quinn was silent for a long moment, studying the papers spread before him. "This is a lot to take in," he finally said. "I know, and I want to be clear, this isn't about charity or trying to fix your life. This is me recognizing genuine talent and potential the same way I would with any promising entrepreneur." Zara hesitated. "But it's also me caring enough about you to want to see you succeed on your own terms." Quinn met her gaze, his expression softening. "Thank you, really, this is extraordinary." He reached for her hand. "But can I ask why now, why this?" Zara took a deep breath. "Because I love you," she said simply. "Both you and Lily. And I want to be part of your lives not by changing who you are, but by supporting the dreams you already have." Quinn's eyes widened at her declaration. "You love us." "I do," Zara confirmed, her heart racing. "I love how you treat Lily with such respect and patience. I love your creativity and integrity. I love that you've never once asked me for anything, even knowing what I could provide." She squeezed his hand. "I just love you, Quinn Donovan." In one fluid movement, Quinn pulled her into his arms. "I love you too," he murmured against her hair. And it has nothing to do with business plans or billion-dollar empires. It's just you, the woman who sits on park benches and eats PB&J sandwiches and makes my daughter laugh. Their first kiss was everything Zara had imagined, tender yet passionate, a promise of more to come. When they finally drew apart, both slightly breathless, Quinn rested his forehead against hers. "So what happens now?" he asked. "Now," Zara said with a smile, "we figure it out together, day by day." 1 year later, Zara stood in the doorway of Lily's bedroom, watching as Quinn tucked their daughter in for the night. Yes, their daughter, the adoption papers had been finalized last month, making official what had been true in their hearts for months. "One more story, please," Lily begged, now 6 and even more persuasive. "It's already past your bedtime, Lilipad," Quinn reminded her, but his resolve was clearly weakening. "I think we can make an exception tonight," Zara said, entering the room. "It is a special occasion, after all." Quinn smiled up at her, his eyes filled with love. "True. It's not every day your dad's furniture line gets picked up by the biggest retailer in the country." Donovan Designs had grown rapidly over the past year, fueled by Quinn's talent and work ethic, strategic guidance from Zara, and an initial commission from Hale Innovations that had garnered industry attention. Quinn had insisted on taking a business loan rather than direct investment, determined to build his company through his own efforts, a decision Zara had respected and admired. "And it's not every day that Zara officially becomes my mom," Lily added, her smile revealing a missing front tooth. "That's the real celebration," Zara agreed, sitting on the edge of the bed and smoothing Lily's copper hair. After story time, when Lily was finally asleep, Zara and Quinn retreated to the back porch of their home, a comfortable, modernized craftsman-style house, halfway between Quinn's original neighborhood and downtown. It was neither as modest as his former home nor as ostentatious as Zara's penthouse, but a perfect compromise that represented their blended lives. "Happy?" Quinn asked, pulling her close as they settled onto the porch swing he'd built. "Completely," Zara said honestly, nestling against his shoulder. "You know, when I met you that day at the park, I never imagined we'd end up here," Quinn chuckled. "When I met you, I just thought you were a beautiful woman with expensive shoes who was humoring my chatty kid. And now I know you're a beautiful woman with expensive shoes who has completely transformed our lives." He pressed a kiss to her temple, in all the best ways. Zara smiled, thinking of the journey that had brought them here, the gradual merging of their worlds, the adjustments and compromises, the moments of doubt overcome by their growing love. She still ran Hale Innovations, but with boundaries she'd never maintained before, ensuring she was home for dinner most nights and present for Lily's important moments. Quinn had flourished as his business grew, his confidence expanding along with his client list. He'd recently hired 2 apprentices and was mentoring young craftspeople from disadvantaged backgrounds, his way of giving back now that he had the means to do so. And Lily Bright, loving Lily, had blossomed with 2 parents who adored her, never forgetting Michelle but embracing Zara as an additional source of maternal love in her life. "I was thinking," Quinn said, interrupting her thoughts, "maybe it's time we consider giving Lily a sibling." Zara's heart skipped. They discussed this possibility before, but always as a someday conversation. "Really, you think we're ready?" "I think we can handle anything together," Quinn said confidently. "Besides, Lily's been dropping hints about wanting a baby brother or sister for months now." "She has, hasn't she?" Zara laughed. "Subtle as a sledgehammer, that one." "Wonder where she gets that from," Quinn teased, kissing Zara softly. "So what do you think? Ready to expand our family?" Zara thought of the park bench where they'd first met, how a chance encounter had led to this extraordinary love, how a little girl's friendly overture had changed the course of her life. "Yes," she said, her heart full. "I'd like nothing more." As they sat together in the gathering twilight, planning their future, Zara marveled at how her definition of wealth had changed. Once measured in dollars and acquisitions, she now understood its true meaning in Lily's laughter, in Quinn's steadfast love, in the family they were building together. Sometimes, the richest discoveries happened on ordinary park benches, with people who saw past the surface to the heart that waited beneath.